Yes, today we are going to discuss about contiguous array. So given a binary array, find the maximum length of the contiguous subarray with equal number of 0 and 1. So we have a input here 0 and 1. So the maximum length of the subarray with 0 and 1 which is continuous is 2. And here we have one more subarray input array 0 1 0. So we have the maximum subarray length 0 1, so or 1 0. So here, even here it is 2. So we can either take 0 1 or we can take 1 0. Let's take a bigger example. So yeah, 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1. So basically we are counting the number of zeros and the number of ones which occurs in a continuous, and we need to find the maximum length of that subarray. So initially so here the main idea is behind this problem is where we have a count variable and we will decrement the count whenever we encounter 0, and we increment the count whenever we encounter 1. And two things we need to consider. So when the count value becomes 0, that means the number of zeros and the number of ones are equal. And there is one more scenario: whenever the count values matches, like for example, whenever we have two zeros, the count becomes -2. Then whenever we encounter two ones, it becomes 0. It means the number of ones and number of zeros are equal. There is one more scenario: whenever the count value is equal, for example -2 -2. So till that point till again the point when -2 occurs, then the number of zeros and ones will match. So it's been a little bit tricky, might be. Yeah. So initially I encountered 0, it's -1. So next I encountered one more 0, it's -2. Next I encountered one more 0, it's -3. Next I encountered 1, it becomes -2. Encountered again 1, then -1. Encountered 1, 0, -1, 0, 1, 2. So from here to here, number of zeros and ones will be equal before that point. And again consider here 0. So from here to here, the number of zeros and ones will be equal. And again here 0. So the number of ones and zeros will be equal. So even if you consider -1, 0, till then there will be the number of ones and zeros will be equal. So the two things is, one, when the count becomes 0, the number of ones and zeros are equal. Or when the count value becomes even, count value matches equal, even then before that point and the first occurrence of that value index, even then the number of zeros and ones will be equal. So we will take a hash map, like which each count we will push the first occurrence of that index, and we'll update the whenever the same count occurs in the while going through the array, we will find out the maximum length, subtracting the current index with the previous first occurrence of the counter for for that particular count value. Okay. So initially I'm taking a hash map, so I'm giving 0 and -1 here because initially when we work on a input like 0 and 1, whenever we encounter 0, so our value becomes 0, then our value becomes -1. So counter becomes -1. So when we encounter 1, then our value becomes 1. Counter will become 0. So 0 is already there. So we'll take the -1 and the 1, then the count sublength will becomes 2. So that is one scenario why we will take this initial input like 0 and -1. So we will loop one by one for the one thing. So whenever we encounter 1, we will increment the count value. Whenever we encounter 0, we'll decrement the count value. So we need a count variable. And the max length. So if we encounter 1, we need to increment. If we encounter 0, we need to decrement. So we incremented, we can see I incremented count value as with +1 if the nums of I is 1, if we encounter 1, else we will decrement it. Next, if the count value is already present in the hash map, that means we already seen that value, so we need to find the maximum length. If the current max length is less than the new max length, then we need to update it. So current index, and we are subtracting the first occurrence of that count value. So we are bringing that first occurrence from the hash map, providing the count value. So that's one. Else, if that is the first time we encountered that particular count value, then we'll pushing into the map. So with if that is the first time we encountered particular count value, then we are with that corresponding count value, I'm pushing the index value. And as I'm updating my max length every time, or we'll get our max length. And finally, so let's resubmit once. So let's see, let's submit, and yeah, so we are returning the max length, and yeah, let's submit it. 76%. Let's resubmit. Yeah, it's 94%. Perfect. Thanks guys, and if you like it,